I've kind of worked into this sleeping pattern of getting up in the middle of the night at 2 in the morning, and things come to me, and it's kind of a good time to contemplate in the dead of the night. And a couple of weeks ago on the YouTube channel, we were talking about, or the subject of forgiveness came up, and there was a little bit of discussion about forgiveness, and it got me kind of thinking about forgiveness in my mind body world, in my manifested world. And usually, I think in general it's real easy for me to forgive. I may get angry or triggered or hurt, but I tend to get over it pretty quickly, except for one person um, whom I was very close to. That person chose to walk out of my life, and we haven't spoken since. And so I got to thinking, that was 5 years ago, and since then I've healed, I've gotten over it, I've you know um, I have become whole since then, or at least I thought. But the reality is, I was really only about 99.999% whole. There was still this hook in my mind body that just could not forgive this person. And so at 2 in the morning, I started thinking about this, and I thought to myself, well, I've I've rounded it up to 100%. I'm whole. I shouldn't feel like I can't forgive this person, but there's still this. It felt like that, like this image that came into my mind is that it's like a cat claw stuck in my cheek, and the cat is attached. The cat the cat wants off. I want the cat off, but there's still this cat claw. Yeah, in my cheek. The cat cannot retract the claw. And I thought about it and thought about it, and then it occurred to me, well, I'm claiming to be 100% beyond this, yet it's still I have this claw in my cheek. What maybe maybe there's something in this person's world that remains unresolved with respect to forgiveness. So I thought, maybe what if I just said a small prayer for this person? Something like, you know, please, God, if there's anything unresolved in this person's world with respect to, forgiveness, please help them work through it. And that prayer sort of turned into this, it sort of morphed into a very deep meditation. And I meditated for a long time, and I came back to self, started thinking about self. And then I started to try to see this, the essence of this other person. And so then I began to, much in the same way that I had to sort of reach my true self, I had to, in my mind's eye, I'm a very visual person. In my mind's eye, I had to try to see this person. I, I tried to see their essence. I tried to, what if, what if I peeled back this person's ego and their possessions and their identity and their power? What if I strip all that away? What do I see? What do I see in my mind's eye of this person? how can I see into this person's true self? And so I did that in my mind's eye. And what I saw was a vulnerable, childlike, formless being,
Mm,
another organism.
mm,
And as soon as I was able to see that person in that way, it was like the floodgates just open and
mm.
forgiveness became very easy and the cat claw was gone. And um,
Wow.
it blew my mind. And it was like forgiveness, all is forgiven. That last thousandth of a percent, I can honestly say, it's not, I'm not just saying it, I can feel it. Like all is forgiven. And it just blew my mind. And so, I come out of that. And I don't think I would have been able to do that without sort of breaking down my own identity first. It's like you really have to be able to be there and understand that to even attempt to like look at somebody else and do the same thing. And maybe this is all just a figment of my mind, body, imagination, but it really doesn't matter. It's it ties in a lot with loving all of God's children and, all of
Mhm.
that. And so what was funny was after I sort of came back into the real world, uh, I could not. There was no way I was going back to sleep. I was just, I was amped up. Like this is powerful and this is amazing. Like this actually worked for me. And so I started thinking about like the most despicable people I could think of and just think
Mhm.
of them like
And you
strip
loved them.
away their power, strip away their identity, strip away their
Oh.
money, strip away the people around them. And what you're left with is essentially their essence. And I think you kind of have to be in a meditative state to be able to even truly look at that. So like once and it was like, oh my God, it kind of works for everybody, really. Like and then it just started, it changed my perception of how I look at everyone. And so